Hey, welcome to another great episode of Transformed and Renewed. I know that we are starting a little early, had another appointment later on, but I do welcome you to our episode Transformed and Renewed. Hope that you are having a great day. As always, we are going to really have a great segment, and I hope that you can really find a lot of value today. And if you happen to watch this after we do our live, make sure that you do drop some comments because I do want to get your feedback and also want to engage with you. I want you to know that this is not a one way, but I want you to know it's a two-way communication. So I do want you to feel welcomed to just drop some comments, share some feedback, any questions that you have, because I think tonight's episode will really stir up some questions, make you think about some things and how you can improve some things. But, again, if it's your first time checking out our page, make sure that you like, subscribe, follow us because we have been growing and it's been so exciting. Just a lot of the people who have interacted and just shared a lot of their feedback with some of our posts. And I want you to know that we are just going to keep adding value because that is one of my main goals is just adding value to your life however I can. So one way I want to do that today is really by talking about something that I don't want you to take casually. And it's something that I think about every day, honestly. And that is, do you struggle with speaking positive as well as eating healthier? And when we think about this, sometimes we don't realize how, what we say can influence how we eat or how we do something in this area. And we don't realize that it can have a correlation to another area. And for me, I've been very fond of, seeing two areas, whether it's in life and just being fascinated with how, sometimes we may do things and not realize how there is a mutual connection. And we want to explore that tonight. So when it comes to speaking positive, sometimes people may feel, based on experience, how they grew up, the environment, how they perceive themselves. They may tell themselves, what, I'll never, achieve this weight. I'll never be that small. I'm gonna be fat all my life. Some people joke about it. However, in them joking about certain things, while most people may laugh at it, that person could be serious, but they just found a way to say, hey, you know what, I'm just gonna try to laugh this off because it's the reality. And not realizing that that doesn't have to be the case. You can actually say, hey, you know, I may have gone through this period in life, but it doesn't mean that it's just how my life is going to be. There are different methods to changing that. Sometimes people may feel, I'm so used to comfort foods. I've heard many times people say, well, I'm just not going to give up ribs or something that's very comforting, when you think about foods. And I want you to know that when we think about some of these types of words or phrases or talks, it can really influence. And, as we start to say it, we start to believe it because I do believe, when we speak out words, we actually start to see them being fulfilled because we continue to speak them over and over again versus if we were to change those words, change the mindset behind that. And so, how does that really go into eating healthier? Well, it has a very big part about it. When you think about it, having a plan or being intentional about what you're saying, it's not always going to be the easiest, trust me. When you decide to really focus on doing something better and you start to become more aware about the words that you're speaking, you'll actually find that you have to really be mindful. You have to catch yourself because sometimes you may say something and you may not realize, oh, I didn't know I said that often. And that can really impact the results, especially, again, for instance, if you're really trying to lose weight and you're saying, you know what, I don't know if I can really lose this. You know, this person was able to do this, but I don't know. Don't compare yourself. At the end of the day, everyone has a different journey. And I will say, comparison is not the way to go. You know, you never know what another person had to go through or how their journey is. You want to focus on you, okay? So, some ways that you can really change up your language is by one, having someone that can hold you accountable, because a lot of times we think whatever we say, that is what it is. But you have to realize, just because you don't have a referee blowing the whistle telling you it's a flag on the play does not mean that everything you say is going to go well. You have to start to have some accountability. So when you start to talk crazy, saying I should just die because I'm just not getting my life together, you need to stop all that noise. You need to stop talking that way, because you don't want to put that out there in the atmosphere. There's already enough evil going around, and it doesn't make sense for you to start to speak negative life over yourself. Okay. So, one way that we want to focus on that is by saying, okay, you know, I have had some challenges getting, my nutrition together, but I will improve in this area. So, kind of going beyond positive affirmation, this is really saying, okay, I can actually see the goal, I can see the finish line. I may not see everything in between that part, but I can actually see the end goal. And I'm not going to allow my current situation, or I'm not going to allow even my environment to make me feel like I can't do it or I can't achieve my goal. Okay. So it really starts, with holding yourself accountable. And sometimes you also have to have somebody there to hold you accountable. You may not realize it, but whoever is your closest friend, someone that you would feel would give you honest feedback, it's nothing wrong with having someone say, hey, I need you to hold me accountable because I'm really trying to achieve this goal. And I know it's not going to be easy, but I do want you to give me some critical yet loving feedback. And this is going to be very important, because when you're really trying to focus on changing up your words, you'll find that, as you start to speak, more uplifting words, and as it goes back to affirmations and also having someone hold you accountable, you'll start to find that you are really getting into that groove of, selecting healthier foods, such as, you won't have to go grab that snack or bag of chips every time you see it. You'll just be able to walk past, or not even have it in sight, and you'll say, hey, I can make it through this. I'm not going to be led to eating that because I have a bigger goal in mind. And so sometimes you really have to think about, what are my trigger points? What has really caused me to not be as successful, especially when it comes to my health. Because one thing I want to say is, eating healthy is not for anyone that's over the age of 50 or 60 or has had an encounter with the doctor and they told them that you have high blood pressure. That is a false reality that a lot of people buy into. That is not true. Eating healthy is for anybody, okay? Having Being in good health is something that everyone should strive to do, because at the end of the day, you just never know what the next day may look like, or whatever type of diagnosis or things are occurring in your body. And so you never want to take that for granted. You want to make sure that you are handling business, because your body is one of the main things that you can control. Okay. So it's important to not feel that, hey, I just have all the time in the world to get this together, because that is false. Ask somebody who has lost their life. Everywhere we're seeing it, little kids, even the older adults, everybody is dying, okay? And from different things. And so that should really prompt you to realize that, this thing that we know as life, we shouldn't take it for granted, okay? So I really do want to encourage you to really think about this concept of speaking positive, and like I said, having someone to hold you accountable, really thinking about your words, changing up the narrative, okay? You may not realize, but when you start to change the narrative for how you've spoken over your life or spoken over how you approach eating healthier, you'll find that some things actually go smoother than you can imagine. Now, I'm not saying that everything is going to be smooth sailing because, again, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I need someone to help me out at gym, like a gym buddy, or I need a nutritional coach to really help me to select the proper foods that work for me. Sometimes people may say, well, the reason why I don't eat healthy is because a lot of foods just don't taste right. They just taste nasty. And it's not a lot of flavor. And again, that's a myth because when you actually start to eat a lot of healthier foods and you start to adjust your palate compared to what you're used to eating, you find that some foods that you may eat right now, you may not really desire them because your palate is going through a transition, just like your body and your mindset is going through this transition. And sometimes because we are not used to the unknown, we can say, I've been doing this for a long time. I'm comfortable with this. But how many of you are aware that sometimes you really have to be uncomfortable in order to be comfortable, to explore something new, which is really going to benefit you? So I do want to encourage you, today to really think about that. Think about, the last past week. What have you spoken over your life as it relates to your nutrition? What things have you done? Have you really made any attempts to, seek in education? Have you said, let me really, try at least one thing at a time to really go in the right direction? Or have you just kind of been coasting? Okay. So I want these questions to really prompt you because, again, this is something that I do for myself every day. I think about, okay, what can I do differently, better, so that I'm operating at my best in terms of my mindset, in terms of my body. What can I really do so that I can be, as efficient as possible, because someone else may need me and I want to be at my best to provide for that person. I don't want to be sick and someone, sick needs me to help. I need to be at my best to help other people who are sick to help them help others who are sick. Okay. So it's just kind of like this mindset and these goals that I have. But what are your goals? What goals do you have that you say, hey, you know what? I never thought about, really being in good health to achieve some of these goals. But Jerry, you bring up a great point. And so again, these are just questions and just some feedback for you to really consider about upgrading your life. Okay. So again, I didn't want to hold you too long. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you. And hopefully, again, this can add some value to your life. And if you found this helpful, make sure that you hit that like button, subscribe to our page, drop a comment because I really appreciate it. And, again, as you share feedback, trust me, I will definitely interact with you. I don't want you to think that you post a comment and I'm not going to respond. Trust me, I do want to interact with you because I want to see you at your best. And however I can do that, please let me know. Okay. Again, make sure that you follow us on social media: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We are there at Robody1212. Make sure you check us out. Actually, today I just actually put in my YouTube handle. Okay, so it's Robody1212. It's the same all throughout the channel. So Robody1212. We are consistent with that. So make sure that you follow us if you are not. And again, if you enjoyed this content, please let me know. I appreciate your feedback. Until next time, I will see you later.